All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on how a modern business really works. We're talking about its engine, its memory, its reflexes. We're talking about a company's digital nervous system. Let's jump right in. I mean, really think about that for a second. How does a massive global company stop itself from just descending into total chaos? Well, just like a living thing, it relies on a nervous system, this incredibly complex, integrated network that connects every single part, allowing the whole thing to feel, to react, and to remember. But it wasn't always this slick. For decades, businesses were wrestling with a huge, crippling problem: information silos. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things, stovepipe systems. See, each department, marketing, finance, you name it, had its own separate system, and they didn't talk to each other at all. That led to duplicated work, insane inefficiencies, and just a total mess. The goal, what everyone's striving for, is over on the right, an integrated system where everybody is working from the same playbook. And this is the real-world fallout. When your departments are basically operating like their own little islands, you get nothing but confusion, super costly errors, and a business that just can't move fast. Why? Because one hand has no clue what the other is doing. So how do you start building bridges between these islands? Well, you start where it hurts the most, with the money. The very first step in building this digital nervous system is getting one clear, unified picture of the company's financial health. And that is exactly where the Accounting Information System, or AIS, comes in. You can think of it as the financial core of the business. It's the specialized part of the whole system that is laser-focused on tracking every single dollar, every transaction, every sale, every payment, so that managers get the data they actually need to make smart decisions. Now, here's the thing. An AIS isn't just a piece of software you install and forget about. No, it's a whole ecosystem. It's about the people using it and the procedures they have to follow. It's the data itself, the software crunching the numbers, and the IT infrastructure that it all runs on. And maybe most importantly, it's the internal controls that keep everything secure and, accurate. So how does an AIS actually organize all this frantic activity? Well, it's pretty smart. It groups everything into these logical cycles. So it'll track a sale on credit, and then it knows to look for the cash collection that follows. It tracks a purchase, and then the payment that goes out to the supplier. By chunking transactions together like this, the flow of money and resources becomes way more clear and manageable. But look, just connecting the financial dots, that's only the beginning. The real revolution, the real game changer, happened when businesses started connecting everything. And that's what led to the all-in-one system. And this quote just says it all. The ultimate goal, the most advanced version of this digital nervous system, is what we call an Enterprise Resource Planning System, or ERP for short. See, an ERP doesn't just connect the financial data, it connects everything. We're talking accounting, finance, manufacturing, logistics, marketing, HR. They all plug into one central hub. This is what finally smashes down those silo barriers we were talking about earlier, creating this seamless flow of information across the entire company. And the benefits of doing this? They're huge. For one, data gets entered only one time, which dramatically cuts down on errors. Productivity just skyrockets because teams can finally work together effectively. And think about it from a customer's perspective. Service gets way better when a rep has a customer's entire history right at their fingertips, from their last purchase to a recent service call. And for the folks at the top, management gets a real-time, bird's-eye view of the entire operation. It's a game changer. Okay, so we've got this amazing integrated system humming along. But where does all of that information actually live? Now we need to talk about the company's digital memory. Right at the very heart of any AIS or ERP system, you're going to find a database. Now, this isn't just a random pile of digital files. Oh no. It is a highly organized, structured collection of data. It's specifically designed to get rid of that old redundancy problem and make absolutely sure the right information gets to the right people at the right time. Let's break that down, because it's actually pretty simple. A database is built from these little pieces. You start with a field. That's just one piece of info, like a customer name. Then you have a record, which is just a group of those fields that all belong together, like all the details from a single sales transaction. And a file? That's just a collection of all those related records, like all the sales you made in a month. It's this simple, elegant structure that makes it so incredibly powerful. And the software that manages all this? That's the Database Management System, the DBMS. If the database is a library full of books, the DBMS is the head librarian. It creates the whole structure, it maintains all the records, and most importantly, it acts as the gatekeeper, protecting all that precious data from being lost or seen by the wrong people. Which brings us to our final, and maybe our most critical point. If this whole system is the company's brain, then how in the world do you protect it? Because here is the great double-edged sword of the digital age. Having all your data in one beautifully integrated system is incredibly powerful, yeah? But it also creates a single central point of attack. If that system gets compromised, the fallout can be, well, catastrophic. And this is exactly why data governance is so ridiculously important. It's the whole set of rules and processes that make sure a company's data stays available, accurate, and secure. It's basically the immune system that protects the digital brain. So data governance is put into practice with a whole arsenal of security measures. It all starts with really clear policies, but it's enforced with technology. We're talking things like access controls to make sure only the right people can see sensitive info, and encryption, which basically scrambles the data so it's useless even if it gets stolen. You've got firewalls guarding the gates, and antivirus software fighting off any malware that tries to sneak in. And make no mistake, the threat is very, very real. As this source points out, cyber attacks aren't just random accidents. They are intentional, deliberate acts designed to compromise the very data that a modern business runs on. This is exactly why protecting that digital nervous system isn't just an IT problem anymore. It's a core function of the business itself. Which leaves us with one last big question to think about. In an age where a company pretty much is its data, who's really responsible for protecting that digital brain? Is it just the IT department? Is it management? Or is it every single person who logs into the system every day?